Goku is a character that most, if not all, people know at this point, and with that popularity comes die-hard fans that can see no wrong with their beloved character. The fact that I'm criticizing Goku at all means I'll probably receive an obscene amount of hate, but the truth is, I don't actually hate Goku. I hate capitalism. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell to be up to date with our silly little funny wacky videos. If you want to further support the channel's endeavors, check out our Patreon and Discord in the description below. As an anime content creator, I've been known to hate Goku quite a bit. However, it hasn't always been like that. Also, as I mentioned prior, it's not exactly that I hate him as a character. I think I just hate what he represents for the series as a whole. You see, I'm a disgusting, barely functioning millennial that grew up watching Dragon Ball just like the most of you social outcasts. But the difference between me and most of the current audience of Dragon Ball is I've discovered what a shower is and that girls don't only exist in media. Jokes aside, however, as I've gotten older, Dragon Ball hasn't just lost its shine, it's seemingly become the antithesis of what it was to begin with. Alright, that was a bit dramatic. It isn't that deep, and I certainly don't think I used antithesis correctly there, but in today's video, I want to discuss what I believe to be the downfall of this beloved series, and why it makes me want to shove nails into my face. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z came to the US at a very important time in my life, and arguably when I peaked. That's right, back in the prime of my youth. Elementary school. My family was pretty strict with the media I watched, which meant anything that had violent or mature themes was pretty much off limits. Then again, I would cry at ET, so I guess they did the right thing. But one thing I always got away with was watching Toonami, probably because they thought I was just watching stupid ass cartoons, but I digress. You all know Toonami, so I won't even get started on how iconic and important it was to the culture of anime and how far it's come in the West, but needless to say, I was a pretty big fan. Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Cowboy Bebop, and most importantly, Dragon Ball Z. DBZ and Pokemon quite literally ruled the schoolyard. If you weren't playing Pokemon games, you were probably out at recess screaming at the top of your lungs, hoping you could go Super Saiyan. The show was so important to shonen anime and manga as a whole that to this day we still get references in new anime that use the blueprint this series set. But what was so great about it? Really, to describe what makes Dragon Ball Z a great series is an incredibly hard task. Is it the fights, the world, the characters, the jokes, the art, the wonderful parenting lessons? No, I think the series benefits from a little bit of everything that it attempts. It's a story about characters who get stronger and protect the ones they love with increasingly harder battles, leading to our characters besting themselves and becoming not only stronger, but more valiant in the end. So what's the issue? Even Super follows this exact trend. I think most fans would agree with me that Super is essentially a character assassination attempt on Goku. Sure, he was always a little bit dumb and thought with his fists, but these days he seems a little extra silly. He hasn't grown as a character in anything other than strength, and yet he's still regarded highly by the community. See, our lovely main character is one that we have followed almost literally since he came out the womb. I know Broly remembers that. But following a character for that long has to end with you being attached. It's like when a mom has their 38-year-old son living with them playing Valorant in their basement. Sure, he failed to live up to all expectations, but by that point you've invested far too much time to give up on him now. He's been a staple in my life and a character that I've always looked to for inspiration, but the character he is now, while not exactly betraying what he was, just doesn't have the same level of impact he had back in Z, or even Battle of the Gods for that matter, which I believe should have been the end of the franchise. Fighting a god of destruction should have been the highest stake, but yet we kept raising the bar to ridiculous levels. He's fought alien Sasuke, gender-bent Broly, regular Broly, a space goat with the power equal to actual angels, some dude named Granola, and Frieza. But he's black now, for whatever reason. Do you see the problem here? Each fight is presented as universe-shattering, and yet somehow we keep raising the bar, effectively making each fight before infinitely less significant. I attribute this to the power creep in the series and the need to have Goku in particular rise up to the occasion while every other character sits back and has a competition for who's the least useless. Newsflash, they are all tied for first. Shout out to Gohan though, he sometimes gets a different hair color. It's like they actively hate any character that isn't Goku, and will maybe give 2 or 3 characters a chance to look cool, but that time in the sun doesn't last very long. This isn't something exclusive to Dragon Ball. Shows like Naruto and My Hero also sideline characters to just focus on their main character and gay love interests, so why am I complaining? Because the story no longer matters. Goku is fighting on the level of angels and gods, and yet can still be bodied by threats that are clearly pulled out of the ass of the creators. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like there aren't great moments. Even in Super, the show still feels like Dragon Ball, but almost as if you asked a 5th grader to create story arcs, which is fair. It's a shonen, so it's quite literally for kids. Growing up, it was the coolest shit to see this buff, bulging monkey man fighting just for the sake of strength, but years of watching other anime that do focus more on storytelling and character development had me wanting maybe just a little more from the series I loved growing up. And it's not like they haven't shown us how capable they are at awesome moments in the series. DBZ starts off with Goku making the most selfless sacrifice and giving his life to ensure that his son could live. He also entrusts his firstborn, I might add, with the Demon King Piccolo, who I'll remind you was literally the final villain in Goku's original story. Some may say that's a bad father decision, but I call that damn good writing, which is something we rarely get these days. It seems like every idea thrown at us is just a new universal threat that Goku has to change his hair to beat. I'm sure there's some bullshit in-universe idea or statement they say to try and make it seem like these threats always existed when clearly they are just prolonging a dead series that the mangaka doesn't even want to write anymore. Yet we still have him held up writing this trash. If Goku is as strong as the YouTube power scalers would want you to believe, why does he always lose? The answer isn't because so-and-so got granted power and now his Omni level scaled to a multi-dimensional threat. The reason that they keep writing this bottom of the barrel shit is because you people eat this slob. You run to TikTok to make your little edits of how strong Goku is and how he solos every other anime verse, but supporting mid content only leads to more mid content. It's ruining the legacy of a story that was great. Sure, old DBZ had its issues, but the threats felt real and the powers felt earned. Every character moment felt believable and heavy. It wasn't just power for the sake of power. It was reaching to those depths to protect the ones you love. Power-ups stemmed from understanding, hard work, and lots of practice. Now we just see Goku training with Whis and we are told how much stronger he is, and then he gets a new funny little hair color to still lose to the villain of the week. We get mid-animation, redundant storytelling, below-average characters and form designs, and most importantly, we get moments that look like the series may actually make a good decision for once, like making Vegeta get an awesome buff to then immediately get washed, even though the story would have only benefited from letting him shine. Which is again why I said only Goku is allowed to be the star. Goku is being forced by Shonen Jump to become anime's version of Superman. He will continue to get stronger and stronger despite there being no reason to believe this strength even made sense, because at the end of the day, Dragon Ball is like the anime equivalent to playing with toys as a kid. The power scaling never really mattered. It's whatever is coolest in the moment. So if you need a form or a power up, just give it to the damn character. I'm not saying that this can't work for a story. Stories made just for hype fights can also be great. However, Dragon Ball doesn't even look good. The animation is uninspired and pretty much more of just what we've seen before. I think I would actually argue that Z had more artistic value than Super ever could. The Super movies have been pretty alright, well, besides that last one. Gotta get those Fortnite skin sales somehow though. Goku unfortunately has to tank the hate because Shonen Jump refuses to let this series rest. Like I said before, it should have ended with Battle of the Gods, but once the ticket sales came in, they realized they could bring back a huge cash cow. Super isn't just a bad anime. Its mere existence is malicious, created to pump money from a corpse of a show that already earned itself a spot in the Anime Hall of Fame. Everything since its resurrection has actively shat on the masterpiece it was, and I wish I didn't have to pin it on Goku, but he's the only thing that pushes the series. So I may hate what Dragon Ball has become, but no, yeah, that's it. That's it. Hey, check this shit out though. Put your clothes on right now. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this didn't come off as too malicious because I seriously just wish the anime wasn't so focused on just giving hard-ons to people who power scale, but at the same time, some things need to be said. Whether you agree or not, I appreciate you watching this video this far. Thanks so much. Once again, please like the video if you liked the video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. Don't forget to tell me how stupid I am. Subscribe for more, and until next time, love you all and goodbye.